This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to the monthly Squiz Quiz, where we test your knowledge of everything that's been going on in the news over the last month. And for the first time, we do not have a defending champion in the room, so everything is up for grabs as I'm joined by our weekly rap co-host, Jodie Spears. Hi, Jodie.
Hello, Andrew.
Thank you very much for coming back for
Thanks
more
for having me. I'm not sure if I should
punishment.
have. Nikki, go easy on me, please.
Yes, Nicoletta Hay, our content manager, is here as well. Hi, Nikki.
Hello, Andrew.
Will you go easy on Jodie?
I don't know if there's much easy to go. Yes.
Yes.
We might help each other.
I think so.
We can make it a collaborative quiz. You know, it's fine. It's all a bit of fun, and hopefully it's fun for you at home. We've got 10 questions worth 1 point each, and a special gauntlet round. Remember the gauntlet round, everybody?
With dread.
5 points. That's the one that really gets people. So we'll see if you can beat our contestants in the studio. We'll do 5 rounds of 2 questions each. Let's begin. We'll get straight into it with round 1, and that is all about the news here at home. Okay, round 1 is all about Australian news. There has been Australian news this month. It can feel a bit like there hasn't been because it's been a very international month.
I'm struggling
in
to
terms
think
of news.
what it is.
What's
I'm
actually-
sure you'll remind us.
What's actually happened? I think you'll probably know this one. The trial of Erin Patterson has been running entirely through the month of June. Most of that seemed to be the summing up from the defence and the prosecution. In which state is that taking place? This is the Jodie special.
I love
for
that.
sure.
You're easing me in.
Gets a little bit harder now, I will warn you. There's a slight increase in difficulty with question 2. There's an interesting discussion around foreign ownership in June when a major state-owned oil company from which country launched a $30 billion bid to buy Santos, which is one of Australia's biggest energy companies. So there was a $30 billion bid to buy Santos, which is a major energy company headquartered in South Australia, and it came from a state-owned oil company in which country? I will give you a clue. Not a huge clue, because you probably assume this anyway. This country is in the Middle East. Okay. Jodie, I'll give you the honour of telling us where the trial of Erin Patterson is
Was it
taking
in
place.
Queensland? No. Victoria.
How hard would the Erin Patterson question have had to have been for you not to get it?
Pretty hard.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, my knowledge is quite encyclopedic on that
Yes.
particular area. It lacks in other departments.
That's good. I'm sorry for the softball on the topic on which you would have been strongest, but that is absolutely right. Nikki, I'm assuming you had Victoria
I also
as
had
well.
Victoria.
Excellent. Morwell is the
Morwell.
Yes,
Mhm.
is the
In
place
Gippsland.
In Gippsland. And there was an interesting discussion around foreign ownership because of this bid from an oil company from which country? Nikki, and your special subject is, funnily enough, geopolitics and international relations. Believe it or not, do you happen to know this one?
Is it Saudi Arabia?
It is not Saudi
Oh
Arabia.
my God!
No.
I had Saudi too, if that
What?
makes you feel any better.
Well, you had part of it right. It's the UAE. It's the United Arab Emirates.
Oh, that's
Okay.
horrible.
It's an Abu
Different.
Dhabi oil company. No, it's fine.
Somebody somebody revoke my degree.
We're gonna need to. I'll be taking that back from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting discussion because of Australia's foreign ownership laws. It needs to be ticked off by the Foreign Investment Review Board, or FIRB, which is one of my favourite acronyms in Australian government. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that indeed goes ahead and they give it the okay, and then Treasurer Jim Chalmers also needs to give it the okay. So we'll see if that all happens. But it was United Arab Emirates, so you might have got one up on our contestants in the studio there if you said that. They are now both 1 point after 2 questions. Let's move on to the international news of the month. Okay, question number 3. The US launched an operation on Iran's nuclear sites during June. This was a gigantic story. Would have been a gigantic story at any time of the year. What was the name of that operation? I'm going to give you the first part of it. So it was Operation Midnight something. What is the something? What is the last word of the name of that operation? And question number 4, the Secretary General of NATO is a guy called Mark Rutte, who made headlines in June for his communication and choice of language with US President Donald Trump. What I would like to know is, what country did Mark Rutte used to be Prime Minister of? Nikki, I'll start you off with the Operation Midnight blank, fill in the blank.
Thank you. Were you noticing my quizzical face for the second question? Operation Midnight Hammer.
Jodie?
Of course. I couldn't get Operation Rising Lion out of my head, which
That
was
is
the
that's the Israeli operation, yes.
So no, I did not get hammer. I put down hawk. I had the H.
Midnight Hawk sounds cool.
I thought so.
Also very American-esque.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, that would be the very much fit the bill of the type of operation. But no, we're looking for hammer. So well done, Nikki. Very good on that one. And the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte. Maybe it's a slight clue. I know you've already written down your answers, but spelled Rutte. Used to be the Prime Minister of which country, Jodie?
I would say the Netherlands.
Nikki?
Had just when you rehashed his name, I said Netherlands.
Okay, you are both correct. Very well done. It is the Netherlands. And what was your guess pre-spelling?
I was thinking Belgium, but
Belgium.
Yeah, it's in the
ballpark.
region.
Yeah, you're very much in the region. But that was a strange piece. Jodie, I know you talked about this on Weekly Wrap last week. There was some interesting language going on there between him, Daddy, and that was after Donald Trump used the F word. Just I think the day before, and I thought it was an interesting debate about which one was worse. Some people are like, honestly, I'd rather the F word
Then the daddy. The daddy was just weird.
We just don't want that. We don't want that in our international relations. So very well done, both of you. Nikki, you got 2 points there. Jodie, you got 1. So Nikki is on 3, Jodie is on 2 as we head into round 3. Okay, in round 3, we're doing sport and entertainment. I'll start with the entertainment part first because sport is everyone's least favourite part of the quiz. Aussie Sarah Snook won a Tony Award this month for her performance in an adaptation of which classic novel in which she plays all 26 roles? So this is a stage adaptation of a classic novel. Sarah Snook plays all 26 roles in this in a one-woman performance or close to it. What is that novel? And question number 6 is the sport question. The French Open tennis tournament, or Roland Garros, was a big sporting event this month, and the first names of both the men's singles winner and the women's singles winner begin with the same letter. All I need to know is what letter is that? So if you can think of either the person that won the men's singles or the person that won the women's singles, they start with the same letter. Which letter? All right, Jodie, Sarah Snook, did you see this one, the Tony Award?
I did see it.
Yes.
And I think it was Picture of Dorian Gray.
Spot on the money. Nikki, did we have the picture of Dorian Gray?
I'd put The Importance of Being Earnest, which was stupid.
No,
looking back.
Not stupid at all, because you've got, I'm pretty sure, the same author. They're both Oscar Wilde. The Picture of Dorian Gray, fun fact, the only novel I think that Oscar Wilde ever wrote, adapted into a play. The Importance of Being he's more known as a playwright or a poet. But yes, I can see where you were going there because they have the same sort of cadence.
Jinx.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. I can't talk for the rest of the podcast. That's going to make things really awkward.
I might
Difficult
have a chance
to do.
now.
But yes, very well done, Jodie. Well done. You got the culture
you.
question. You can go to events and balls. And
I love Sarah Snook. I think she's fabulous.
Oh, she is.
And a friend of mine actually went to NIDA with her and said that when they were selected, it's very hard to get into, she was sort of the reserve who wasn't initially picked.
Wow.
And she's the one from the class who has obviously gone on to great heights.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There's a film I saw her again in, I think it was 2015. I think it's called Predestination, where she is astonishing. And it was from that moment, long before she was in...
Long before she was Shiv.
in Shiv, in Succession, that I went, oh, she's going to be really something. And then obviously you get on a big US TV show like that and strength to strength ever since. She's incredible. And the French Open, Nikki, did you manage to figure out what this letter might be?
You've really lowered the stakes on the on the sport question after our track record.
Yes, that's true. It hasn't traditionally been the strongest question for the quiz.
And I thank you for that.
No worries.
Is the letter C?
Jodie?
I had C as well.
And what gave you the clue to that?
Coco?
Yes.
And Carlos.
Exactly.
Coco and Carlos, exactly right. Yes, Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff. I always find it very difficult to pronounce Coco Gauff's last name correctly, but I believe it's Gauff.
Is it Gauff rather than Goff?
Yeah. It's got a bit of an aw.
Well, not Gauff.
Gauff.
Well, it is spelt with the or
The or sound, yes.
You can never be too sure when there's Americans, though. You know?
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's tricky. Very well done. Jodie, you've claimed one back there, so we're now all
even
square
Stevens.
once again. I've got you at 4 all after 6 questions. Round number 4 is all about quotes. So I'm going to pick some quotes out from the month in news. You just need to tell me either what those quotes were about or who said them. So this first one, all I want you to tell me is which art gallery this is a quote about. It's the Mona Lisa moan out here. So this was a person who was trying to get into a certain art gallery and couldn't, and said it's the Mona Lisa moan out here. What art gallery was he talking about? And question number 8, I'm not going to give you any other information here. You're only getting the quote. I need you to tell me who said this. As you know, I'm the only guy in the running, and therefore it would not be a great look if I won. So just organise, figure out your favourite lady, and get right behind her. As you know, I'm the only guy in the running, and therefore it would not be a great look if I won. So just organise, figure out your favourite lady, and get right behind her. Who said that? Nikki got writing straight away on that. I think that's the hardest question. Yeah, it is worrying. Yeah. But well done if you figured it out. Jodie, I'll start with you on the Mona Lisa. There's a fairly obvious clue in that.
It would have to be the Louvre.
It would have to be the Louvre. Exactly right. Nikki?
The Louvre.
The Louvre. Very well done. Yes, that's it's part of this over-tourism discussion that's happening right across Europe and has been part of the Jeff Bezos wedding discussion and a whole range of protests. And that was part of what has caused the staff to all abandon ship and stop work for the day on the Louvre, which left lots of very unhappy tourists standing outside, unable to look at the Mona Lisa, which, as I'm told, is less impressive than you think it's going to be.
It is.
Small.
I've never been.
Yeah,
it's really small, isn't it? Yeah. I never got the chance, but...
Overrated.
Overrated.
Just kidding.
Go to the Musée d'Orsay instead.
Okay.
Is that the
Good tip.
next door?
That's the one in the old railway station on the other side of the river. I think it's beautiful.
Travel tips, yes, please.
Excellent. We'll take it. Next time we're in Paris, that's where we'll be. They may not want us there at the moment.
Yeah, true.
Next time. And who said, as you know, I'm the only guy in the running, and therefore it would not be a great look if I won, etc., etc. Nikki.
Okay, can I have a caveat?
Yes, you can have a caveat if you would like one.
I know the context. It's about the Logies, and it's about the fact that there's only one man that's been nominated, and the rest are all women. I can visualize this man's face, and I...
Can this be a collaborative effort?
I don't think that's
Do
technically
we
allowed.
rule in half points?
I can't give you points, but I'll let Nikki finish, and then I'll see if Jodie can clean it up.
Is his name Hamish?
Can you give me a last name?
Oh, from Hamish and Ed.
Jodie, what's his
Hamish
last name?
Blake.
That's
Give you
the
half
one.
a point each. Go on. We're changing the rules. Yeah, we
See?
like a bit of collaboration.
Together we can do anything.
Exactly.
This is Hamish Blake. He was the only male Gold Logie nominee this year. The rest were all women. And he basically said, please don't vote for me. I don't want to be the one bloke who's been nominated and then I'm the winner, which is,
Beat
I
all
think,
the
probably
women.
sensible. So I'm myself am hoping that Lynn McGranger, Irene from Home and Away, gets the nod. That would be an appropriate, I think, Lifetime Achievement Award or Career Achievement Award for
Classic
what's been
Irene.
a long time. Yeah. That is absolutely right. Hamish Blake, half a point each. We're all gonna
Thanks for those clues.
keep it nice and even. It helps me because it keeps it close as we go into round 5.
More exciting.
Yes, exactly. Okay, round 5 is multiple choice. I'm going to give you 4 options for each of these questions. You just have to pick the right one. Maybe my favourite story from the entire month was one about a certain species of bird that seems to have figured out how to work water fountains or drinking water fountains or bubblers, you might know them in New South Wales. What kind of birds were clever enough to figure out how to operate a water fountain? Were they the 28, otherwise known as the Australian ringneck parrot, the sulphur-crested cockatoo, the crimson rosella, or the bin chicken, the ibis? And question number 10. There was news this week that a purple version of which fruit, which is not normally purple, might be on its way to our supermarkets. Was it A, purple apples, B, purple bananas, C, purple avocados, or D, purple tomatoes? So one of those is on its way, potentially, if it gets approved by our food agency. We might be getting a purple version of one of those fruits, but which one? Jodie, we'll start with you on the bird question. What kind of birds figured out how to use a drinking water fountain?
My first instinct was the ibis.
The ibis. Nikki?
I went with the sulphur-crested cockatoos.
You are correct. They are
almost went for that
sulphur-crested
one.
cockatoos that managed to figure out, there's footage of it. They seem to have worked out how to be able to move the lever and drink from the water fountain, which is incredible. Birds, they're very clever. Very clever animals.
Would be on brand for the ibis though.
It would
The
be
big
on
chicken.
brand.
True,
Yeah.
I could just picture it happening.
Yeah. They'll be getting jobs soon. Ibises.
At the checkout.
I'll be running this podcast.
They'll be coming. They'll be a contestant on here. And what kind of fruit might we be getting a purple version of if it gets approved? This was a story this month. Nikki?
I went with the tomatoes.
As did I.
You are both correct.
Phew.
So these tomatoes, they've got sort of special sort of DNA in them. They've been modified, and they're supposed to have more antioxidants in them, which gives them that purple, which is the same thing that kind of gives the purplish hue to blackberries and blueberries and those sorts of the high antioxidant fruits. Right. So that's why you would be getting these purple tomatoes, and if they get approved, they might be in supermarkets.
I could picture that more than the purple banana.
Yeah, the purple banana would be rough. I think that's the worst.
I would
visual,
actively avoid that.
The least appetizing possibility out of all of those four. So very well done to both of you. We're going into the gauntlet with Nikki with a 1 point lead, thanks to the sulphur-crested cockatoo. Okay, this is the gauntlet. If you haven't played the gauntlet before, I am going to read 5 quotes that were all about a story from the month. As soon as you know which story it is, buzz in with your name, write it down. We'll find out if you're right at the end, but you only get one guess. So the earlier you get it, the more points you get. So after I've read the first quote, you'll get 5 points, second quote, 4 points, etc., etc. We have 5, but you don't get a second guess. So the earlier you buzz in, the earlier you're confident, the more points you will score. Everyone ready to go? Possible
so.
5 points on offer here. This is quote number 1, and it is very, very close. It would be a big opportunity lost. These things don't come around very often, and who's to say it might come around ever again if this is not the time for it? As you may have guessed, these quotes start difficult, and then they get easier as we go along. Is anyone willing to buzz in on that? Very vague
Not yet.
quote. Okay, we'll move on to quote number 4. Stand up and say what you are going to do. If the governor comes to you and says, what are you going to do? Is it confusingly worded? Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think I want to lock in.
Oh, Nikki's locking in on 4. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you can pretty much wait now, Jodie, because until the 1 point, because if Nikki's right,
True.
she can't be beaten.
You
can just take as many clues as you want. This is the 3-point quote. Nikki is locked in for 4 points.
I think I know too.
Okay. I won't read the 3-pointer. I'll let you go. You going?
Are you committing?
Yes, it's about,
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read the quotes for everyone at home so you can play along. But we are locked in the studio on 4 points apiece. And we'll see if you get more confident as I keep reading. The 3-point quote. Anti-everything people will turn this island into a retirement home. Nikki's looking slightly less confident. Jodie's just looking thoughtful, pensive.
No, I'd rate it as slightly less confident.
Okay, right.
Yeah, me too.
But now I think I have a different answer.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
Yes, it is.
yeah.
That's the gauntlet is unforgiving.
It
is
is.
unforgiving.
The island got me thinking.
Yeah. All right, I'll keep going. This is quote number 2. We had 2 choices. Sit idly by and let this premier wreck our budget, sell our assets, and continue to leave our spirits on the wrong side of the world, or stand up for those who deserve better. That is our 2-point quote. I'm sort of sensing regret mostly in the studio at this point, but we'll find out as we go along. And then the 1-point quote. The only job Mr. Winter is interested in is mine, and I'm not going anywhere. So the 1-point quote. The only job Mr. Winter is interested in is mine, and I'm not going anywhere. All right, moment of truth. Jodie, I'll go to you first.
I've just learned a very valuable lesson about jumping in too early. Clearly, it was about Tasmania and the election that's coming up, and the issue that happened there with
All
the
of the
government.
issues, the many issues. Yeah.
The big mess
Yeah.
in Tasmania. But originally I put down the LA protests because you spoke about the governor, and I was like, oh, there was that issue.
Yes, no, that's absolutely a fair enough guess. Nikki?
I did the exact same.
Oh, okay,
I
yes.
also went with the immigration raids in LA.
The LA protests, yes. No, sadly, that doesn't really work with the 5-point quote, which was Jack Rewalt, who's saying that if we don't get the opportunity to have a Tasmanian football team now, we'll never get the opportunity
so that was about the team.
to do it. That was about the team specifically. The 4-point quote was from Greens MP Tabitha Badger, talking about, the opposition leader Dean Winter in Tasmania, like, if you're not going to help, basically, then tell us which way are you going to form a coalition, etc., etc. 3-point quote was just a commenter on the ABC Live blog on the day of the day of the issue. Anti-everything people would tell this island into a retirement home. Second, the 2-point quote, Dean Winter, the opposition leader in Tassie, and then the 1-point quote, Jeremy Rockcliffe, the Premier of Tasmania. So I do see where you're going. I apologise if I misled you with that 4-point quote, but yes, it was about the Tasmanian brouhaha, everything that's going on that
All
island.
part of the game.
I have never written as much information about Tasmania in my life as I have over the last month or so with everything going on there. But Nikki,
Really
that
cool.
means you win by a point.
Wow.
Well
Even
done,
without.
Nikki.
So very well done.
Thank you.
Let us know if you did well at home, if you scored anything. I think anything north of 10 would have been a very good score if you did well on the gauntlet, because a pretty tough quiz this week, but you both did very well as well in studio. Jodie, thanks so much for playing.
Thank you for having me.
being
I
part
think
of
I
it.
lost by 1 point last time too.
Yeah.
It's becoming a bit of
It's that gauntlet strategy. You'll have it.
Yeah.
You'll have it
Next time, watch me go.
Yeah. You'll do it. Nikki, you've won before, I think. I think
Oh,
you
no.
won an election quiz one time, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe. I can't remember.
It was clearly very important at the time.
Well, I lost miserably to Claire on the gauntlet last time because I didn't back myself, which is why I backed myself this time to a miserable
Mistakenly.
outcome.
Yeah, so the
But-
lesson is never back yourself, kids.
Never.
That's what we're going to take out of this podcast. Thank you very much to you both, and we'll be back next month with another quiz.